Section 3, Tanker Car Stenciling and Marking. This is a considerable amount of the information required by the Department of Transportation of the United States Department of Transportation, Transportation Canada, Association American Railroad to be stenciled mark on the exterior of the tank of the air. There are standards about the location and size of the required stencil. The information must be useful to the tanker car's reporting mark, also called the initial of the car number. The reporting mark, usually 2, 3, 4 letters identifying the car's owner mark, and ends with an X, denoting that the car is not owned by the railroad. This is followed up with a up to six digit or A or X 201 2010. The report mark notification at the A of the tank of the unit identify the required to be marked on each side of the car, left on the center, and the center of each of the end. Many of the tanker cars are also marked with the reporting mark number on the top of the cars and or diagonally positioned on the ends. In an emergency, you may identify the contents of the car by a safe distance and looking up the reporting mark and the number on the train consistent with the train list, wheel report, and other shipping documents. Stencil below the reporting mark with the number will be the tanker car's load limit, LD, lightweight, weight, limited weight, LT weight, LTWT. With a load limit, the maximum weight of the loading may be loaded into the tanker car with the light weight of the weight of the tanker car when empty. On the tank of the volumetric capacity in gallons and liters is stenciled center on each of the end. The capacity may also be shown in imperial gallons. The tanker car specification is required to be marked on both sides of the far right of the center. The following information can be used to identify the type of the characteristic of the tanker car. The Department of Transportation tanker car classes. Some of the specification marked on them may be marked on Transportation Canada. Non-pressure tanker cars 11, 111, 111, 15. Pressure tanker cars 105, 109, 112, 114, 120. Cryogenic liquid tanker cars 113. Association American Railroad tanker car class and non-pressure tanker car is 206, 211. Cryogenic liquid tanker cars 204. The DOT regulations require that if the specification material cladding of the material, if any, of the tank builder's initial date of the original test, the car assembler, if any other tank builder, must be permanently stamped on the metal near the center of the bolt of the outside heads on the U.S. Department of Transportation non-pressure and pressure tank cars. The class of Department of Transportation 1113 cryogenic liquid tanker cars. The stamping must be on the B end of the car with the handbrake wheel, the outer jacket, and show additional information such as design, service, pressure, tank shell, and head thickness. Because of these head stampings may be covered with the paint and thermal protection of the jacket, the Association of American Railroad requires tank cars that ordered after December 31st, 2003, equipped with the two identical stainless steel identification plates. These plates are to be then permanently on the body of the A to the right and A and B to the left. Body of the bolster web and to be indicated with the car's builder name, serial number, certification with construction exemption, special permanent number, the tank specification, tank shell head, material installation, thermal protection, and or insulation material, installation thickness, underframe subsill type or type, date, and built. And for example, the car builder is Allied Tanker Car Company, the building serial number 2009-01110, certification construction equipment A010209. Tanker specification .111A 101W1 tanker shell material head material TC128 GRB A5516 insulation material fiberglass insulation thickness 3.5 inches underframe stub sill type RPM 101 date built May 2009. Alright, other information will be displayed as well as on both sides of the tanker car specification marking with the qualified stencil required for the periodic and testing of the tank, the pressure release devices, interior heater systems, and liner coatings. At the time of the construction, tanker cars are subject to the initial hydrostatic pressure test and corresponding with the specification of the tank of the test pressure specification of the .111A 100 welding fusion welding 2 tanker car in 100 psi in gallons. In the some of the tanker cars building are testing the non-pressure for 33% of the minimum burst pressure of the IE 165 pressure psi in gallons for a tank of 500 psi in gallons of the minimum burst pressure. Prior to 1998, the government regulations prescribed periodic internal visual inspection hydrostatic testing of the test in the internal heater coils, if so equipped with the testing of the pressure release valve with it, because in 1998 for the tank of the cars without metal jackets and 2000 for the tanks with metal jacket and thermal protection systems, all single unit tanker cars other than the class .11113 cryogenic liquid tanker cars used to transport hazardous material, dangerous goods become subject to the periodic continued qualification inspection testing requirements in lieu of the periodic hydrostatic retesting. Alright, the frequency of the continuing qualification inspection based on whether or not the tank of the car transports commodity that are corrosive to the tank, whether or not the tank has an interior lining or coating by regulation qualification intervals for the tank not being exceeding 10 years for the service equipment qualification intervals of 5 to 10 years unless greater period is approved by the Federal Railroad Administration. The current periodic qualification inspection include the following: internal, external, visual examination of the tank, structural integrity inspection of the various tank welds, tank thickness tests, safety system inspection, including thermal and head of the skid protection, reclosing the pressure release device, and the servicing equipment valves and fittings, marking, inspection, lining, coating, inspection, and liquids pressure testing. Additionally, with the Association of American Railroads requires periodic inspection of the tanker cars, trucks, coupler, drafter, gears, components of the 88B2 inspection, stub-sill inspection, the qualification test date, and the due date of the next inspection year, and all in 4 digits are recorded on the standard qualification stencil, pressuring 44 11/16 of an inch by 18 and 3/4 of an inch applied to both sides of the tank. Following this example, the qualification stenciled. If your tank qualification thickness testing, surface equipment, pressure relief valve, PSI, in initial hours lining inspection, H88-2B2 inspection, stub-sill inspection, your station stencil, and qualified and due. Note the following explanation of some of the information that is found in the qualification station stencil. The station stencil, an alpha code designed by the Association of American Railroad for the tanker car facility performing the inspection, service equipment, and filling, discharge, fitting, safety other than the pressure relief devices, heating and measuring devices, pressure release devices, a valve, reclosing the pressure release device vent, non-reclosing safety vent with a rupture disc combo, the pressure release device combination, pressure relief device, reclosing the valve with the rupture disc on the braking pin, no pressure of the relief device, total containment, INT error, HTRS, interior heater system, an exterior heater system due to required qualifications, and a lining PP indicates the lining is applied to the maintained product, the purity not to protect the tank from corrosive effects of the lighting, the PP, the protective lining, or the PP, protective purity linings do not require requalification. Or the date the car was built with the BLT, the type of the air brakes are shown on the consolidated stencil applied to each side of the tire. In addition, with the placard identification number marking governmental regulations requiring that the proper shipping name, authorized common name with the sensor. Certain hazardous materials, dangerous goods must be marked on each side of the tanker car, and the letters at least 3.9 of an inch higher. And for shipments originating in the United States, these commodities are listed in Statute 172-2325B and 172-330A1 and 2 of the Title 49 Code Federal Regulation. Other markings may be required on the tank cars, including marine pollutant mark with marine pollution hot, the evaluated temperature materials, inhalation hazards, commodities that are poisonous or toxic by inhalation, non-odorized or not odorized for shipment of unauthorized liquid petroleum gases. These markings may appear on the tank cars used from both unauthorized or authorized liquid petroleum gases. Regulating valve of the venting normal, regulating valves, relief valve, the rupture disc as appropriate over the under the discharge pipe of the tanker car, and argon, carbon dioxide, or nitrogen oxygen service. Alright, that's SP 5-digit number for the tank car operating under the provision of the Department of Transportation special permit, or the .SP for special permit. 5-digit number replaces the .E 5-digit number, which stands on the exemption, stood for exemptions. Alright, your SR with a 4-digit number for the tank of the car operating under the provision of the Canadian Safety Permit Rail, and this AR standard number, 3 numbers for the tanker car that is operating under the AR service trail. Alright, an EX shown on the right side of the built date with the tank of the car authorizes extended service life of the car is allowed remaining service beyond its prescribed retirement date. Some of the shipments equipment tanker cars with the remote monitoring equipment, RME, to monitor and record and transmit certain data regarding the shipment as such as the location of such as Viva, GPS, landing temperature, and/or pressure leak detection, impact detection, load, or empty status. The Association of American Railroad has established the standard regarding the placement of such devices. Wiring tanker cars equipped with remote monitoring equipment must display labels on stencils within 12 inches on the sensor, be bright yellow or orange with black lettering, and be at least 2 by 3 inches on the marking. Must be described. The device is provided with a telephone number to call for information on device. All right, your location, the keying stencils. You see the JDX number with the capacity and the gallons and liters. Your consolidated stencil with the type of the air brake valves and the car built date. The dot specification A already come out of the dot specification qualification stencil. In your JDX loaded limit and limited weight load. Section 4, non-pressurized tanker cars.